Coming our way right now on the Rich Eisen Show, one of our favorites from the worldwide leader in sports. One of the very few people can pull off a two-shot with Tom Brady quite like this man. He is Jeff Darlington back here on the show. How are you, Jeff?
I'm great. I really enjoy the What's in the Box segment.
We got a new drop.
But, it is true, though. Like, I think everybody has, when you get that box from your parents, that they're like, you know what, I bestow this trash onto you. Years.
I don't know. How do I throw this stuff out, Jeff? I'm a pack rat, too, so. But
you put it in your closet, you put it in your attic, and someday you pass it on to
Chris Brockman.
Next person who will.
Here we go. Chris is going to get all sorts of stuff for his child.
I'm excited.
Hey, when did you sit down with Brady, Jeff?
Recently, but not this week.
Okay. Okay. So
he was not interested in sitting down this week.
Yeah, I could pretty much figure that one out. So, what did you talk with him about for this week then? Because I'm sure whenever you did sit down with him, this game was coming down the pike. This is it. So
yeah. No, I mean, I think the thing that I took away that I was most fascinated by was the fact that he's really visualizing exactly what this experience is going to be like. What I thought he would go down the cliche road of, I'm sure it'll be emotional, but instead he was like, oh, I know exactly what this is going to be like. I know what they're going to say. I know how they're going to prepare. I know what the wind is going to be like. And when he's saying that, I'm thinking, he doesn't say anything without thinking about it. And this is just my interpretation. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth here. But when he's saying it, I'm thinking he is absolutely sending a message right up to New England right now saying he's coming, in the most subtle possible way. He's saying, I'm going to be there and I know exactly what I'm getting into. That was my takeaway from it.
Well, my only frame of reference is whatever I've gone through personally, Jeff, and you're working where I used to work, and things have worked out for me, and I feel like I'm in a better position life-wise, professional-wise, but I still have tremendous feelings for the place at ESPN and the people I met, and I just just talked to Berman for a podcast, and it's all great, but I definitely, when I go on the air, even 18 years later, I want to win, on NFL Network. And I'm just wondering, though, like, even winning a championship, I mean, even spiking the football like he was able to do in front of the whole country, right? I mean, still doesn't even compare to winning Sunday night. I would still deep down imagine for Tom.
I think so, too. I understand the degree to which Brady is trying to publicly, for instance, yesterday during his press conference, be as dismissive as possible of the hype. But, talking to people around him, I think that I truly do believe that is the mentality he's taking, not because he doesn't want to go up there and absolutely thump the Patriots, but because he knows that the best chance he has of doing that is to treat this game exactly as he treats all games, which is not to go overboard, not to overthink it. And I give him credit for it. I think that he realizes if he can go up there and just perform like he believes he can, that he can celebrate it after and forever if he gets that win.
Jeff Darlington here on the Rich Eisen Show, and then I guess to put a fine point on it, while I'm still comparing myself to Tom Brady.
Michigan, man.
Well, when I've interviewed Brady in the past, certainly in person, I'll be honest, I make sure that I eat right in the week before. I moisturize. I got the best suit. I mean, what about you, Jeff? How was that? I mean,
it's so. I don't even want to say this because it's just going to make the eyes roll across the country.
Go, Jeff.
But you're looking at the guy's face when he's talking to you, and you just sort of, you're like, what am I doing? How am I here right now? But I remember also like talking to my producers the night before the interview and kind of saying like, hey, look, Tom Brady makes you feel. And I know people are rolling their eyes. If you're not a Tom Brady fan, you're just being nauseated what I'm about to say.
It's the truth, Jeff. Go for it.
He makes you feel like you're one of the guys, right? And he will take you off guard, and you'll be like, wow, he's such a great guy. But I reminded the producers and the people that would be on the set that don't let that detract from the fact that we are interviewing Babe Ruth. That this is a living, active legend in front of us, and it deserves the type of respect that we need to give this interview, because it's one of those things where he is such a likable person in that moment, but he's also, I mean, this is as much as people don't want to, we're living history when we're watching him play football right now.
Yeah, and then the two-shot for me, I was wearing a great suit, and it looked like a burlap sack whenever they took the two-shot, and
yeah, you gotta definitely put your best suit on. I mean, we're just making people just nod.
No, I don't care. I'm just we're spitting truth, Jeff. This is the honest truth. So, Jeff Darlington here on the Rich Eisen Show. Has Matt Nagy named a starter for the Bears? Did I miss that amongst the hoopla, the Belichick Brady Seth Wickersham hoopla? Did we miss that?
I am in one track mode right now.
I know that, but
it doesn't involve Tom Brady. I'm like,
I don't think he has. Like, so what's going on there?
Well, because Dalton, do I understand this? Dalton can play on Sunday?
We honestly, like, we're literally hitting the old Google machine right now, Jeff.
Yeah, hit it for me.
And we're not seeing anything.
So Andy Dalton, Jeff, was limited on Wednesday. And Fields did practice yesterday, although he's dealing with a hand.
Yeah.
What's funny, though, is that, like, I actually thought this was kind of playing out not perfectly in the sense that the game was absolutely awful, but that Matt Nagy could get Justin Fields in the game and be able to go back to Andy Dalton without making this like a Tua Fitzpatrick deal from last year. Like, he can go back to Dalton and be like, I told you guys, when he's healthy, he's got the job back. Now, I understand it's all a facade, and eventually we need to see Justin Fields in better form than we saw him last week. But I do think that this is a better scenario than having to go back to Dalton because Fields isn't playing well.
But why is Bill Lazor? I guess they decided I need a guy calling plays with a freaking laser. So I mean, what you know what I'm saying? Like.
It's a weird deal.
It is. Like, the coach is going to make the decisions. He's making the decisions, and he was brought in to call the plays, and he wins Coach of the Year because he's calling the plays and dialing it up for Trubisky, and then it doesn't work out with Trubisky, and then we'll go to Foles, and Trubisky's gone, and then we're going to draft Justin Fields, and he's going to decide who to start, and then it's Fields' game, and then the day after, the week after Fields gets sacked 9 times, it's the play calling. Now, is that just his way of taking the pressure off of the kid? Or saying, Lazor, you might do a better job. I need to focus on the defense. Or the administration. That one. I just don't get that one. That part of it.
The scary part of all of this for Bears fans is that when you have a situation where the head coach is so clearly on the hot seat, and so too, by the way, is the general manager, decisions start to get made not for the best interest of necessarily the player, but the best interest of self-preservation. And I think that Nagy has tried to do a good job of trying to say, look, Justin Fields is not ready yet. But at the same time, every decision that he now makes, we're all going to be like, well, is that just because you're trying to keep your job, or is this actually the best situation to put the Bears in?
Jeff Darlington here on the Rich Eisen Show. Honestly, I would, I would be bringing it up if it wasn't my show that kind of sparked it. But down there in South Florida, we had Trent Dilfer on the program, and I asked him about Tua since he's been, with Tua since the Elite 11 years, and he's been the guy that every single time we come on the show, he's kind of our Tua whisperer. He was coaching him up prior to the draft, after his surgery, and just asking him about, the Tua, I guess, indifference sometimes, and the Tua hate as well. Yeah. And his response was, well, it looks like they got a good situation around him roster-wise, and Charlie Fry calling the plays. And everyone's like, well, he's not the offensive coordinator, actually. Yeah. And so what is the deal, and who is actually calling the plays down in South Florida for the Dolphins?
That's a good question. I think that this was sort of the I'm not trying to steer around your answer too much, but I kind of have to, because this is sort of the downside of having co-offensive coordinators, and why this also seems kind of so suspicious. I can tell you, who's not calling the plays, Chan Gailey, and he took all the heat last year
right.
for Tua's underwhelming performance. So the problem for Tua is if that continues, if you can't turn the corner soon, now you've changed offensive coordinators, you've put the players around him, and unfortunately, the blame is going to fall squarely on his shoulders, whether that's fair, whether he's had enough time to develop or not.
And as long as Deshaun Watson is not on a commissioner's exempt list, or having his case handled in a way that makes him unavailable, whether as a football player or as a citizen in the society, right? Yep. It's entirely possible that something's on the table for October. Like, how much does this bear watching this month before the trade deadline in the first couple of days of November?
Well, it's certainly significant, and not only that, but what's happening with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and seeing what happens if Week 1 was a better indicator of what we're going to see from him, or Week 3. So suddenly, Deshaun has made clear that he'll waive his trade clause to go to the Dolphins, and it doesn't appear that he'd do the same for the Eagles. But if the Texans are sitting there saying, we can get 5 first-round, if the price just starts going up, they're going to be more reluctant to just do what Watson wants. So the more suitors that become available, the more intriguing this absolutely gets. And it does feel like, as this season progresses and we see some maybe more mediocre quarterback play than we expected, Deshaun Watson will be absolutely a name on the list, on the tip of every tongue in every fan base across the league.
So as I send you on to your Friday, sir, what do you think happens Sunday night? What's the view? What occurs?
Can't wait. I mean, I'm inclined to think that. So I just don't know that. Mac Jones has been in really big moments, and I hope that they're explaining to him how electric this is going to feel, because this is going to be a massive moment no matter what these teams want to think. It's almost like when you see a player go into the Super Bowl and he's like, I'm just going to treat this like any other game. Well, it's not any other game, and Sunday night will not be any other game.
I agree. I mean, do you think they stop the game when Brady passes Breeze? Breeze is going to be there. I mean, do you think Brady wants any part of that? And if he doesn't, don't you think the Patriots would stop the game just for that alone?
He told me that he felt like he's going to be prepared for everything, but he also did say, now I know that they're going to try to throw some things in there that I won't necessarily expect.
Like what?
I honestly think
like what?
That I think that Bill Belichick is strategic enough about all these things that he would be willing to do whatever he can, pomp and circumstance and otherwise, to try to throw Brady off his game. I do not think that I think he will use every single potential advantage. If that means stopping the game to recognize him, I could totally see that happening, and I could totally see Brady being like, son of a,
Well, I mean, Belichick was asked specifically about that today in his final media, I assumed final. I mean, the guy does make himself quite available for an NFL head coach. He said he was asked today about stopping the game, and he said he did not know what the protocol is. Don't you think that there's not a single thing that goes up on that video board about Brady that doesn't get run by the coach's office at some point this week?
I think everything is. I think every single thing is getting run by them. From who's getting tickets, who's on the sideline. I think that he is going to have his hand in everything, and that's just me talking. That's just my history of knowing the way Bill Belichick operates. But in this game, in this setting, in this environment, he's going to do whatever he can to make sure he has the advantage.
Because if I'm the Crafts, I would want to pay tribute to Brady. I would want to do that, right? But you can't do that without disturbing your coach's preparation, and because the last thing you want is to have your coach surprised by anything.
Yeah, but what if you think about it the other way, where Belichick's like, I want to bestow him with as much praise as I can. I want this guy to be emotional. I mean, I could see that. I could see that being the judo flip too. And again, this is coming from nowhere. We're just shooting the bull, as I say. But I could totally see Bill Belichick being like, let's throw the guy a parade.
Well, the one to do that would be the way to do that is if when he passes the record that Bill.
Right.
Somebody on the Patriots staff gets a bouquet of flowers and hands it to Bill, who walks it out to Tom and has somebody and then they quickly take some pictures, together,
Terrible.
On the field and smile, and then and Brady's like, "What the hell was that?" Like that would
I'm for all of this.
That would totally throw him off his game completely. And it's 3rd and 4.
Right.
He just completed a 2-yard pass to pass Breeze. Let's stop the game.
5-minute
and come
break.
on out, and Bill's the one who runs out and it's like they make him like Miss America. They throw him, put a tiara on him.
Play the music, the tribute video, and it's only 68 yards, so that'll happen like halfway through the first quarter.
Right, through the first 15 scripted. Sorry, Leftwich, your first 15 scripted. Hold up, let's go.
Like Coming to America, roll a red carpet out to the 50-yard line. Let's get some pedals thrown down.
Last one for you, Jeff. Last one for you. Let's say the Patriots win the coin toss. What do you think? Do you think he takes the ball and hands it to Mac Jones first, or lets Tom have the stage first? What happens? Let's say the Patriots win the toss. What happens?
I think he wants Mac Jones out there first.
I think so too. Let's go up 3-0. Let's go up 7-0. Right?
Yeah. But I don't want Mac Jones feeling that energy.
Yeah, but then you're opening yourself up to pull the Patriot, which is give Brady the ball before and after the half. You don't want that either. You want that for your guy. Think about it. Who knows more? Who knows better than what Brady can do right before and after a half than the man? It's like you can't pull it's you, it's me. That's my thing. It's you. It's not you. It's me. That's. You can't do that. That's my thing. Honestly,
anything you can do, I can do better.
Pretty much.
The whole deal. Look, we might be overthinking this, and I will continue to do so until the ball is kicked off.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rich.
That's Jeff Darlington, everybody, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.